Earlier in the night, they're battling in that raggedy-ass, decrepit house. And then Bray Wyatt jumps into a limo, and then heads to the arena. And on the way, he ended up stopping at Burger King and, you know, Hot Topic to pick up a few items. But, yeah, he ends up making it back to the arena. Later on in the night, Randy Orton catches him by surprise. And Randy Orton hits him with an RKO. It looks like Randy Orton is about to win the match. But no, the Bollywood boys, they interfere. And also Jinder Mahal shows up with the WWE Championship, attacks Randy Orton, and allows Bray Wyatt to hit Sister Abigail, pins Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt wins the match.
The best thing about this match was the conclusion. Jinder Mahal and his cronies getting involved and saving us all from this terrible disaster that unfolded. Also, another reason I like this, I mean, I know I bashed Jinder Mahal a few weeks ago on the SmackDown Live review, but make no exception, I'm only liking this because of the fact that it's at least a story that's relevant and makes sense going forward. And honestly, I would take that over this whole Orton versus Bray Wyatt nonsense. I'm so over that.
Here's the thing, though. When you've invested so much into this feud, you kind of put yourself into a point where if you undermine the feud, you look at all of the things that you sacrificed to get to this point, and you have to ask yourself the question, is it really worth it? Like, let's take a look at the entire feud for Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. This feud has featured a pay-per-view main event that they should not have got. That main event should have went to The Miz and Dolph Ziggler for the fucking Intercontinental Championship. So, yes, this feud featured a main event slot that it should not have got. It featured the implosion of a longtime faction in WWE. It ate up a lot of screen time over on SmackDown. It also featured the winner of the Royal Rumble. It introduced the WWE Championship into the feud by way of the Elimination Chamber. It featured fantastical stuff like a house being burned down as one of the elements of the storyline. And then also they created an entirely new match concept just for this feud. All of that stuff, all of that creative energy that has been put into Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, and this feud ends. The finale of the fucking feud was nothing more than a moment where WWE could get heat on a mildly reformed jobber as he moves towards a WWE Championship match that he probably should not fucking have. All of the months, all of the story that went into this one goddamn feud, and the ending of the feud isn't even about the fucking feud itself. It's to build up to another feud. And oh my God. Like, I'm happy that this whole thing is over, but this was a hot ass mess from every single vantage point. Hot mess.
I'm right with you there, but I think the only explanation as to why we didn't get a huge payoff to this after everything you described that happened in this feud is the fact that maybe WWE themselves knew this is shit. We need to end this as soon as possible. I mean, that's the only way I think this unfolded, because as you said, everything leading up to this was making you think there has to be some sort of huge, intriguing payoff. But I guess WWE caught on and they realized that this was no longer
caught
working.
on at the last fucking minute. I wish they would have caught on 3 months ago. I wish they would have caught on before they gave the fucking Royal Rumble over to Randy Orton. They should have caught on then.
Yes, because I was so against that shit too. And everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna make Bray Wyatt a star." Yeah, who's the star now?
Nobody.
Exactly. So those people that were saying that, yeah, check yourselves, because you were wrong.
And then I got some more stuff to say too. Bray Wyatt, that no good, sorry ass bum. The only way that he wins this match is through interference, because if you look at what happened, Randy Orton RKO's Bray Wyatt. We know how dangerous the RKO is. That's a one-hitter quitter. If he pins you, it's all over with. So he RKOs him as a part of the match. And the only way that Bray Wyatt wins is through interference from Jinder Mahal and company. Now, let's put things into perspective. Randy Orton had no earthly idea what the hell to expect from the House of Horror match. He agreed to this thing sight unseen. He didn't know what the hell was going on. We, as an audience, didn't know what the hell was going on. The only person on the face of this planet who knew what to expect, who knew what the implications of the House of Horrors match were, was Bray Wyatt, because he was the creator of the match. He crafted the entire concept from the ground up in his own mind. So he had the element of surprise going in his favor. Every single thing that, every single advantage went to Bray Wyatt. And like I said, the no good, sorry ass bum still needed help to win. What the fuck is the point of Bray Wyatt? I honestly sit here and ask that question, and I can't find an answer to it, because he does all of this supernatural stuff to no effect whatsoever. Just take a look back at WrestleMania. You had those weird-ass images being projected on the canvas of the ring, all of that stuff going on, him trying to play this psychological warfare with Randy Orton. He still loses. He's given the opportunity to create a match, and Randy Orton goes in completely blind to it. And he needs help to win. I don't understand how people can sit here and say, oh, well, yeah, at least Bray Wyatt got a much needed win here. Yes, he got a win, but as he's standing in the ring with his arms raised, he is an empty suit. Or you know what? I'm not even going to say he's an empty suit, because that suit, it's full. It's full of something, all right. It's full of bullshit. That's what it's full of.
And you're right, because if you're supposed to be a supernatural character, such as Bray Wyatt's in the WWE, you'd figure it would have some sort of effect and power to the point where you are threatening, your matches do mean something, and your entire persona means something, much like an Undertaker or an old school Kane. But you're right, in terms of interferences and him needing help, it kind of defeats the purpose of those magical, evil superpowers, because he's supposed to play into that. He's supposed to dominate based off of that. And if he cannot do that effectively,
what
point
the hell?
Of it? Yeah, why does he have that character to begin with?
Exactly.
And another point is, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this one, but I just don't think that kind of character works in today's WWE's programming. I think that's another issue with it, is the fact that kind of character can only last for so long, 6-7 months, and it only works against your biggest star. And I think after, his feud with John Cena, and Daniel Bryan, those 2 times were the only 2 exceptions and the only 2 times in which the Bray Wyatt character was worked to perfection. But why? It's because he was facing the most relevant names at those times, in Daniel Bryan and in John Cena. But any other time, you have to believe that character will not work because of the reasons we just stated, which is, if Bray Wyatt needs help to win matches against big names, what the hell is the point of this character? And if that character cannot succeed against a nobody, or not a nobody, but just a name that's below a top star, how the hell do you think you're going to survive if that feud can't work against a star that's below you? You know what I'm trying to say?
I talked about this issue with Bray Wyatt many years ago in this video and column series that I did, the Bray Wyatt Paradox, a complex character in the simple world of wrestling. I would love to see Bray Wyatt on The Walking Dead, or Bray Wyatt would work amazingly well as a member of Batman's Rogues Gallery. Because the thing is, when it comes to Batman and the villains that he faces those villains, they have their amazing story arc, and then they disappear for a while. And a few months down the line, a year down the line, then they come back and they're reintroduced and they're reinvigorated and things like that. The problem when it comes to Bray Wyatt is, anytime these big storylines end, we still have to see Bray Wyatt on a week-to-week basis. And I agree with you, like, the type of character that he is, it's not sustainable weekly. That's why he's so ineffective in what he does. But yeah, I mean, at this point, what can you do? You know what I can do? I can rant just a little bit more. I got something else. Another thing.
Oh, boy.
Now, we mentioned that Jinder Mahal showed up with the WWE Championship to attack Randy Orton. Can we go ahead and acknowledge the idiocy that comes into play with the booking of Bray Wyatt, that Randy Orton took the WWE Championship from him at WrestleMania? The WWE Championship was an integral part of Bray Wyatt winning this match, but he doesn't give a fuck about being WWE Champion. Did anybody else connect those dots? It's like, oh yeah, this jabroni jumps into the fucking ring and attacks your opponent, the WWE Champion, the person he's only WWE Champion because he took the title from you. This jabroni is walking around parading with the WWE Championship, and you can't say anything about it because the character of Bray Wyatt is creatively shackled, handcuffed. The WWE management is like, oh, well, we know the character of Bray Wyatt, he lost the championship, but we can't allow you to say anything about it because it just doesn't make sense. You're on Monday Night Raw now, and Randy Orton is on SmackDown, so we're going to let this feud continue and for you to have the blow-off match. But the reason why, you know, one of the big features of the fucking feud, we can't say anything about. So stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, and honestly, like, on SmackDown, you heard Randy Orton bragging about it throughout the entire road to WrestleMania, how he was basically waiting on the right opportunity and the right time to finally get his revenge on Bray Wyatt and snap on him and turn on him, you know, to one-up him. And part of that story was him humiliating Bray Wyatt, taking the title from him, stripping him of everything Bray Wyatt had and stood for. And yet Bray Wyatt now is supposed to do the same thing back to Randy Orton and probably even more. And yeah, what the hell does he do? Nothing. I mean, he doesn't take the title from him. He doesn't beat the shit out of him. He doesn't leave him unconscious. None of that. And then he also has to rely on help. And yeah, he wins the match. But again, it's like what you said. He didn't strip him of anything. Randy Orton, you know, yeah, he might have lost, but he still has the WWE Championship.
The Wyatt family compound is still burned down. Sister Abigail's dead, decrepit ass is, you know, non-existent. Randy Orton has the WWE Championship. All Bray Wyatt has is a victory in the record books, but in real life, it is no victory. You are still a loser. You are still a no-good, sorry-ass bum.